Welcome to the Manteno Village Board meeting for Monday, March 6, 2023. Let's call the meeting to order, and if we could all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Boyce.
Here.
Martin.
Here.
Dole. Here. Crockett. Geske.
Here.
Phillips.
Here. We have a quorum. Tonight, as always, we begin with the approval of the minutes. We have the minutes from our regular board meeting from February 21st that were included in everyone's packet, and hopefully everyone has had the opportunity to review them. Are there any changes, additions, deletions, corrections? Seeing none, I'll accept a motion to waive the reading of the minutes and approve them as presented by the clerk.
I'll make that.
Motion by Boyce. Second by Dole. Roll call.
Boyce.
Yes.
Dole. Abstain. Martin.
I wasn't here, so.
Abstain.
Just abstain. You can abstain.
Yeah.
Geske.
Yes.
Phillips.
Yes.
And I'll vote aye to make sure you have a quorum.
Okay.
Motion passes. Village public participation. We don't have anyone here. Chris, you haven't received anything in the mail?
I have not.
Okay. Village President's report, just a couple of reminders that I talked about a couple of weeks ago. We are in the process of taking the new Hometown Hero banners. They're taking the applications for those up until March 30th, I believe, March 31st of this month. Then those orders will be placed. So if anyone has interest in getting one of your military people on a Hometown Hero banner this year, one little change to the program is that it's $100, which is the same as it has been in the past. But because the banners have held up so well, we are making this a 3-year program instead of a 2-year. So for the $100, you'll be able to have the Hometown Hero banner will be put up for a 3-year period. Again, it used to be 2 years, but because the banners are not fading like we had anticipated, they're in still real good shape. So we're making this a 3-year term. When you sign up this year, it'll go for a 3-year period. Also at the Village Hall, you can register your golf carts. With the weather getting a little bit nicer, you can register the golf cart. I believe that your old stickers are still valid up until June, I believe, June or July. They are issuing new stickers this year that'll be a different color that'll be valid for the next 12 months or up until registrations are due again next year. So you can do that at the village or get those renewals at the Village Hall. If it's a new golf cart that's got to be registered, it does have to be inspected by the police department, so you can get re-registered or new registrations by contacting the police department and setting up a time where you can go up and meet with one of the officers that'll go through the process with you. You do have to have a certificate of insurance, and you do have to have the proper safety equipment on each one of those carts in order to be legally registered. I have nothing further. Village Administrator's report, Mr. LaRock.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just one update. I want to talk a little bit about the remodeling of the new police department over on Marquette and Division. We're actually at the drywall stage, so it's moving along pretty well. We're probably looking at sometime in early June to have the building completed and be ready to move in. So most of the remodeling decisions have been made now that we're kind of at the drywall stage. I want to really appreciate and let everybody know it's been a really good group effort. A lot of the policemen have gone over there and given us suggestions, as well as all the chief and the sergeants and Brian Lockwood, Jim Hanley and Ryan Marion also have been involved in that process. So truly everybody's had input in this, and I think it's going to be a really great facility when it's done. There's been a lot of thought put into it.
Will they be starting the framing then on the drive-up area is going to be converted to a parking garage, so that's going to be starting here shortly?
Yeah, they met with their concrete guy last week to go over some details, so I would expect, if not this week, probably next week, they'll get started digging that in and getting that ready to go.
Great.
And Jim, you want to give an update on the Public Works building?
A lot of people could see that big building over on the north side of town, off of 57 over by Legacy Park. They're working on the roof, got the south side done. It's a little bit of a slower process with the winter temperatures and the rain, the wind. On the inside, the office spaces are about close to keeping up with the police department right now. They are halfway drywalled and a lot of mechanical going in, and so most of the work from here on out is going to be in the office space. So that's all taking place. A couple garage doors have been up now in the last week or two, so a lot of progress over there. The lake's filled up with water, so that's looking pretty cool up there. A couple things were just site work, finishing touches, landscaping, and fencing still will be taking place this spring. So
What's the target date for that?
that's been pushed back a little bit. I think they're closer to the June, July target. So we'll be moving the police department and then moving the public works department if everything works out right.
Okay.
Busy summer.
Great. So lots of changes coming for the middle of the year.
Yep.
Great. Thank you. Committee reports, Public Works and Utilities, Mr. Boyce.
Mr. Mayor, thank you. I got a couple items tonight. My first item is a consideration, a motion to authorize the purchase of the building materials to be used for the salt shed at the new Public Works facility from American Steel Carport Incorporated for a cost of $32,125,000. My next item is a resolution for the maintenance under the Illinois Highway Code. This is basically housekeeping that we go through every year for the use of MFT funds. That's all I got.
Thank you, Mr. Boyce. And Jim, this salt shed, this is to be located up at the new place, and this is for the material only, that the labor portion will be at a later time?
Correct. Yeah, this is just the material for it. Does not include the concrete. There'll be a concrete wall perimeter, so this would be what's sitting on top for the salt shed.
Thank you, Mr. Boyce. Properties and Recreation, Mr. Martin.
No old business. Jim, you want to give an update on Thies Park?
Yeah, we're looking into a possibility of a project over at Thies Park, adding up to 8 more pickleball courts. We looked into a couple of sand volleyball courts, parking lot, and a wiffle ball field. Lights, the whole shot there. So something we've talked about in a few committee meetings. We have a couple different layouts presented by Bruce from Novotny. I think we're going to go through that this Wednesday, and hopefully that'll be a project that we're looking to do. It'll be a startup for this year.
And at Thies Park, we're talking west of the current pickleball courts, and is that the property that the village owns that kind of runs parallel with the High Lines, correct?
Correct.
Including parking?
Parking, yes, also.
Perfect. I don't have anything else.
Thank you, Mr. Martin. Public Safety and Health, Mrs. Dole.
Thank you, Mayor. I have no action items on the agenda. My next public safety meeting is March 8th at 7 a.m., which is Wednesday this year in the Village Board meeting room. My safety tip is this Thursday is National Slam the Scam Day, and the Manteno Police Department would like to give you a few tools to recognize Social Security-related scams as well as IRS-related scams since we are going into tax season. Hopefully you can stop scammers from stealing your money and personal information. Recognize the 4 basic signs of a scam. Scammers pretend to be from a familiar organization or agency, like the IRS or the Social Security Administration. They may email attachments with official-looking logos, seals, signatures, or pictures of employee credentials. Scammers mention a problem or a prize. They may say your Social Security number was involved in a crime and ask for your personal information to process a benefit increase. Scammers pressure you to act immediately. They may threaten you with arrest or legal action. Scammers tell you to pay using a gift card, prepaid debit card, cryptocurrency, wire or money transfer, or by mailing them cash. They may also tell you to transfer your money to a safe account. Ignore scammers and report criminal behavior. Report Social Security-related scams to the SSA Office of the Inspector General, the IRS, and the Illinois Attorney General's Office. As always, if you suspect you are a victim of a scam, contact the Manteno Police Department immediately. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Mrs. Dole. Planning and Zoning, Mr. Crocker is not here tonight. Mrs. Dole, you want to take that also?
Sure. We have ordinance 22-19, an ordinance amending Title 8 Building Regulations, Chapter 1, Building Code, Section 8-1-14, exterior wall covering materials, and Section 8-1-15 accessory buildings of the Village Manteno Municipal Code. Due to several new shed options the building department has encountered over the last several months, Ryan Marion felt it necessary to amend our shed codes to reflect the changes discussed by staff and the board at recent committee meetings. These changes will better clarify what's allowed and what's not for our residents so that they are able to have sheds that meet the village requirements. And the next Planning and Zoning Committee meeting is Tuesday, March 28th, 2023, 7 a.m. here in the Village Boardroom. And I guess the Planning Commission meeting is, I thought it was going to be on for the 14th, but now it's canceled. So that's canceled on the 14th. And that's all Todd has.
Thank you, Mr. Dole. Finance, Mr. Geske.
Thank you, Mayor. I have ordinance 2220, an ordinance authorizing the sale of personal property, surplus of municipal equipment. This is just a computer that was for one of our former employees, so we'll be surplusing that. Also, payment of bills in the amount of $284,386.69, of which $230 are from TIF 1. We have bills authorized and paid between the board cycle of $34,534.75, and our next Finance Committee meeting is this Wednesday at 7 a.m.
Thank you, Mr. Geske. General Government, Mr. Phillips.
I have nothing on the agenda, Mayor.
Okay, so tonight, under the consent agenda, the items we'll be voting on are as follows. Under old business, we have nothing. Excuse me. Under new business, we have ordinance 2219, which is an ordinance amending Title 8, Building Regulations, Chapter 1, Building Code, Sections 8-1-14, Exterior Wall Coverings, Materials, and Section 8-1-15, Accessory Buildings of the Village of Manteno Municipal Code. Item number 2 is ordinance 2220, an ordinance authorizing the sale of personal property, surplus municipal equipment. Item number 3 is resolution 2212, a resolution for maintenance under the Illinois Highway Code. Under the awarding of bids, we have a motion to authorize the purchase of building materials to be used for the salt shed at the new Public Works facility from American Steel Carports, Inc. at a cost of $32,125. And under payment of the bills, we have a motion to approve the payment of the bills in the amount of $284,386.69, of which $230 are from TIF 1. Are there any items on the consent agenda that need to be voted on individually? Seeing none, I'd accept the motion to take a single roll call vote on the question of passage of the agenda items as read.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Phillips.
Second.
Second by Geske. Roll call.
Phillips?
Yes.
Geske?
Yes.
Boyce?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes.
Dole?
Yes.
Motion carries. Accept the motion to approve by omnibus vote the ordinances, resolutions, motions, and orders contained in the consent agenda as read. Motion by Martin.
Second.
Second by Dole. Roll call.
Martin?
Yes.
Dole?
Yes.
Boyce?
Yes.
Geske?
Yes.
Phillips?
Yes.
Motion carries. Comments tonight? Mr. Boyce, you have anything you want to talk about?
I have no comments tonight. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Martin?
Nothing.
Mrs. Dole?
Well, remember we spring ahead for daylight savings this weekend. So remember Saturday night, turn your clocks ahead for daylight savings time. And I also want to, on a Manteno note, wish the 7th grade girls are in sectionals tonight, and the 8th grade girls are in regionals tomorrow night, and planning on playing on Thursday too. So we got to win tonight to play Thursday. So, volleyball, excuse me. Yes, volleyball. So good luck to the girls.
Mr.
I have
Geske?
nothing.
Mr. Phillips? The only item I have is, I was contacted, I don't know if any of you have followed an article in the newspaper about the Fortitude, which is an organization that is taking care of housing homeless people, and they're looking at building a facility in the city of Kankakee. They've reached out to a number of local governments for assistance, and realizing the fact that the homeless population is not confined to any one city or any one town or any one area throughout the community, they are looking for potential financial assistance in order to build this new facility in Kankakee. The city of Kankakee has committed to helping them with some financial resources. They contacted me about, actually, I went to a meeting a week or so ago where they had several of the mayors there looking for some assistance. And I proposed that, everybody should potentially, help this organization, because I know they help the police departments in all the different communities that end up having people that, need a place to stay. So they have asked to come to one of our committee meetings or board meetings, and we've scheduled it for our committee meeting that we're having on March 28th, where they are scheduled to come here and do a presentation to this board at a committee of the whole meeting, requesting some financial assistance from the Village of Manteno. So on March 28th, I guess a Public Works and Building and Zoning
Yeah.
Committee meeting, but we're going to have them here to put on a 10, 15-minute presentation to explain what their organization does and the financial backing that they have and what they're looking for, some commitment potentially from the Village of Manteno. So if any of you are familiar with Fortitude, great. If you're not, if you might want to, look up a little bit of what they do over the course of the next couple of weeks so you're somewhat familiar with them. We won't be voting on anything, obviously. At that time, we'll be discussing it, whether or not it's something that, we think that we should participate in. Personally, I think that, we need to participate in it because, like I said, it's not a problem that is confined to one particular area. We have issues here too, and the police department, relies heavily on a lot of the different resources that organizations like Fortitude provide. So we'll listen to their presentation and discuss it and make a decision after that. But just want to let you know that that date, that committee meeting is going to be taken somewhat up by that organization. So I told them it's 7 o'clock in the morning too, that it's early in the morning, so they agreed to come at that time. So I have nothing further, so I'd accept the motion to adjourn.
I'll make that.
Motion by Boyce,
Second.
second by Dole, roll call.
Boyce?
Yes.
Dole?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes.
Geske?
Yes.
Phillips?
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you very much for coming, for watching.
We do have Thursday.